voice of Long Beach. Halftime, Howie. Edition of Broadcasting on the Beach with Halftime Howie. We have a very special, interesting show. Let's have a nice round of applause for our first guest, Heather Lehrman, who wrote the book, Bullied at the Dog Park. All right. And Heather is with her Boston Terrier named Herbie.
Hi.
So Heather, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here, and Herbie's happy to be here too.
Okay, and let's go back to the beginning. What was the motivation for writing this book, and tell us the story, how this whole thing evolved?
Okay, so I'll try to make it quick. I own a franchise called In-Home Pet Services, and I own the North Shore section, which is Port Washington, Roslyn, Manhasset, and Glen Cove areas, but we are a dog walking and pet sitting company, and we are all over Brooklyn, Queens, Nassau County, and Suffolk County. So we're very well known, and it's a great company. So basically I found them online because I was working in the corporate world at the time, because he was 9 weeks old and I needed someone to come twice a day.
Okay.
So it turned into the company I was working for moved out of state and asked me to go across the country. I said no, but I kept looking at the website and it said franchises available, and I was like, I always wanted to own my own business. I love dogs and cats too. So I said, I called the franchisor up right away and said, is it still open in the North Shore? Because that's where I lived at the time. And she said, yes, and they're always calling. So I bought the franchise and I became the first client turned owner, and I was in the newspaper, and we were on TV a bunch of times. So then I decided to start a group for Herbie to play with dogs that are similar to him. He's a Boston Terrier, and we call him little smush-faced dogs. So Herbie needed to have his own group of friends with pugs and French bulldogs and other bulldogs, so I called it the Long Island Smush Face Group, and it's on meetup.com, so anyone with that type of breed could join for free. So everything's going great, but one day I decided to take Herbie to a private little dog park, and I threw a frisbee and a dog went after him and attacked Herbie, and he was bullied. The dog wouldn't stop bullying him, and he ended up very hurt and had to go to the hospital. So it really scared me. He was a baby, and it was just a dog that should never have been in a dog park, because if you have an aggressive dog, you should never ever let him in a dog park. They should be friendly and be able to obey their owners. There's too many unruly people that bring their dogs to the dog park that don't belong there. So that's how Bullied at the Dog Park came about. Herbie is the main character. It's based on this true story of what I just told you what happened. But then I thought to myself, this would be a great way to teach young kids about bullying. So I made all the other characters which are in the Long Island Smush Face group. As you could see, these are all the dogs that are in my real group. And I have a different story relating to each dog, which will also relate to children. So each dog, it's a journey of Herbie finding out why he was bullied, what bullying means, and what you could do about it. So my book is to teach kids through dogs, which they love, about bullying, and each dog has its own story that could relate to a kid, and it could help them. It helps them understand what bullying is. So I like to do elementary school assemblies so that they learn very young, like kindergarten, starting in kindergarten. Be nice to others, treat everybody with respect. You have to tell someone if you're being bullied. So many kids are afraid to, so friends should step in and on their behalf if they're too shy to speak out. And there's all these lessons are right in this children's book.
So what do you think the overall impact has been on preventing bullying with the young students you've been working with?
They know, these days, of course, they have very big programs in the schools on bullying, but they have to learn that they have to tell the person bullying them for the first time, please stop saying that or doing this to me because it hurts my feelings. And if it progresses from there, then they should always go to a teacher or some trusted adult. And the schools aren't playing around anymore. If they get caught bullying on school grounds, they'll get suspended or get something. Something will happen in, whatever their policy is at that specific school, but they have to not be afraid to tell somebody. And if they have a friend with them, the friend should really step in. If the kid's too shy and is just letting the bullying happen, the friend needs to stand up for his friend or her friend as well. That's very important. So it's basically like the saying, you see something, you say something. Other kids shouldn't stand there and watch someone get bullied. They need to get the bully out of the situation, not the child being bullied. So the group of people should never stand there and watch. They should stop it. Bullying should just be stopped as soon as it's happening.
Absolutely, and our show really got involved in preventing bullying when we had a terrible tragedy here in Long Beach area, where a young 13-year-old student named Brendan Carr took his own life after being bullied repeatedly by other students. So that is the direct result of a child who gets repeatedly bullied by other students. Sometimes the last resort is they can't take it anymore.
Exactly, and no kid should ever think that that's the only way out. So they need to stop it as soon as possible. So many people keep it inside. They don't want to tell their parents. They feel like they look like a wimp or something. They have to say something because then they think they'll get bullied even more if they tell the principal. It doesn't matter, because remember, when you're in school, it's all temporary. You're gonna get out of school, you're gonna live a great life. You're not gonna see these people again. You're gonna go off to college, you're gonna go get a job, you're not gonna see these people again. So don't worry about it. You don't have to put up with it. You have to tell your parents, tell the principal, tell the guidance counselor, tell everybody, talk to friends about it. If you're depressed, you have to see somebody, go talk to somebody. Don't ever let it result in suicide. You're letting them win if you do that.
Absolutely, and getting back to in-home pet services, so many families, the mother works, the father works, and yet they love dogs, yet they have to find someone to come and take care of the dog. So talk about how in-home pet services with the pet sitting and the dog walking fills the void for people that have to have their dogs get walked and get exercise and things like that during the day.
Yes, so our company is based on trust, and we're all professionals, we're all insured and bonded, which is very important. When you're picking a pet sitter or a dog walker, you want references. We have tons of them on Google, on our website, everywhere. We could tell them to call 10 vets, groomers. We have such a close net of connections that everybody will recommend us, so they never have a fear. And to be honest with you, I've owned the business for 7 years. At this point, I haven't marketed in probably 4 years, because it's all word of mouth. It's just like for your child, when you know you have a great babysitter, they'll book me a year in advance for like the Christmas week. Can you take my dogs next year? Can you take my dogs next year? They get to know you, and they know that you take care of their pet very well. And we just have became huge. We always win Best of Long Island, because we're a very personalized company. We're not just in it for the money. Next, go do this walk, this walk, this walk. We leave personal notes. every visit and say exactly what happened on the visit. And we tell people, I will call a client if we notice something. Oh, the dog's back leg, did you notice he had a limp before you left this morning? And they're like, no, thank you, I'll check it when I get home. So we care about our animals, so that's the big difference between our company and others.
That's awesome. Now tell me about Herbie. What makes Herbie such a special pet? And I see he perked up when I mentioned his name, but
Yeah.
tell me about Herbie. What kind of a great pet is Herbie?
Herbie loves to play. He has so much energy. Right now he's wondering, why am I in a room with all humans? Where are the dogs? Because he's so used to playing with dogs all the time. And he always has a toy in his mouth. So right now he doesn't know what to do. But he knows all his friends' names, all his toy names. Herbie, are Lily and Lexi gonna come over? Is Ellie coming over?
You get excited?
Yeah? Where's Daddy? Where's Daddy? He's right there? He's going to Daddy. Herbie's breed is very smart, assertive, energetic. So you'll notice Boston Terriers are in a lot of commercials. People will start noticing now. Once I got him, I realized Boston Terriers in every commercial. Why? They're very smart and assertive. So he just loves to play. He has so much energy, and he snores to death at night. They love to sleep under the blankets. They're all the same. I ask everybody with a Boston. So right now he's just like, where's a toy and where are other dogs I can play with?
How is he with other dogs?
He's great. He's friends with big dogs, small dogs. It doesn't matter because he was raised into the environment with other dogs.
Right. Well, anyway, Heather, we loved having you on the show. And before we leave you, let's talk about, for people who want to get your book and people who want your pet services, why don't we give out all the information?
Okay. My book is on Amazon.com. You could find me on Facebook.com/bullied at the dog park if you want to set up a school assembly. I don't charge for the actual assembly, but I will put the book up on a screen and read it, and then I do a little bullying lesson with the kids afterwards, so they retain the information. And you can go on Facebook.com/bullied at the dog park and talk to me about assemblies. I do them in Long Island and the tri-state area. And my company is In-Home Pet Services. Just go on www.inhomepetservices.com. You can put in your zip code and it will tell you which franchise runs that area. So you could see who's running Oceanside, for instance, and give them a call or an email. If we do pet sitting, we could do dog walks once a day if you go to work, 9 to 5. We could come twice a day. I have clients that are 2 times a day because they get home like 7:30 from the city. So we'll come feed them dinner. So we could do dinner walks when you go away. Some people don't like someone staying in their home. So we could come 3-4 times a day, and we'll do the breakfast, lunch, and dinner feedings. Bring in the newspaper, water your plants. We'll do every little thing that to make the client happy. So you could look us up, give us a call, and I'm sure we cover your areas, Brooklyn, Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk, and we're just growing.
That's awesome. Let's give it up for Heather Lerman and Bullied at the Dog Park and InHomePetServices.com. Awesome.